The iconic fashion diva Jeanne Beker is here. She set out 30 years ago or so to live a life that was not just great, but extraordinary. She continues to be a success at extraordinary. Do you feel that way? I know they write that about you all the time, and look at her life, and she's a jet setter, and she's had so many incarnations, and you've edited magazines and written books and had wine with Madonna.
Mm-hmm. I lead a very full life. I'm very determined to do that, to keep on doing that. I want it all. Although, you know, Lily Tomlin said in her one-woman play, The Search for Intelligent Life in the Universe, you know, if God would have told me this is what having it all was all about, I would have settled for less. You know, sometimes it gets a little intense, but I am determined to have this extraordinary life, and I don't think I would trade any of it, you know, as crazy making as it is sometimes.
Inspired by your mother, inspired by your children. Valentino, tell me about him.
What would you like to know about him?
Well, he said something about a woman doesn't know on which foot
to dance on. He told me that a long time ago, actually, the first time I visited him at his Rome studio, and we were talking about some of the confusion that even then had started in fashion. Now, I mean, it's nuts out there, as you know. There's a lot of noise in the fashion world. We are offered so many options. Too many, perhaps, I don't know. There are an awful lot of people out there with an awful lot of you know, taste levels and points of view, and we all want to put it together differently, and we all want to look unique. And that's what Valentino said. You know, sometimes a woman doesn't really know what foot to dance on because there's so much coming at her, and you know, you have to be true to yourself, obviously, first and foremost. But it is confusing. I mean, that was one of the reasons that I created Edit, because I wanted to make shopping a little bit easier for women. I wanted to, you know, give them my point of view. You know, these are the essentials. These are the pieces of the season that I want in my wardrobe. Yeah, there's a lot going on out there.
And what runs underneath the line? The aviator jacket, the faux shearing?
Well, you know, some of it's a little trend-driven, you know, because that's the must-have jacket of the season. Ours is done in faux shearling, which is great.
Immediately?
Yes, you got to get one, baby, right
Okay.
now. It's a very cool look. I mean, it's got a retro vibe going on, but there's something very sexy about that look, I think. You know, big chunky sweaters, very happening for the season. You know, you're living in this great kind of environment where you want to have a nice, cozy sweater. You know, those of us who travel, this boiled wool, the idea of a boiled wool kind of jacket and capes that we're doing in the line. You know, these are pieces that I want to put in my suitcase, get on an airplane, and just, you know, travel the world in, and you can dress them up, you can dress them down. You know, that little jacket coming out for holiday has a nice kind of sequin sparkle to it. You know, very trim, really together little look. I was wearing it last night at the Bay. I did a personal appearance there with a little lace skirt that's coming in for holiday.
So it's sparkly. I can't tell on the picture exactly,
but you can wear it with a pair of jeans. It's just the way we mix and match these things that give us our own unique voices.
Sure. What about the jean thing? Can you? I saw, you know, much of the television you've been doing, and practically everybody who's a hotshot has jeans on the bottom and some kind of beautiful top.
We love our jeans. Part of you know, the uniform of the modern age. We can dress them up, we can dress them down. These jeans are special because the way they're fabricated, wonderful lycra in them, give them a great stretch. They're cut for women of a certain age too, so you do not get that muffin top thing happening. They come in plus sizes, and $5 from every pair of jeans sold goes to Dress for Success.
How great. Jeannie's jeans? Are these called Jeannie's jeans?
Yeah, we call them Jeannie's jeans. And the cuts are named after my daughters. We've got, you know, like the Becky cut, the Joey cut, and my sister Marilyn. So
Becky, Joey cut, straight legs, flare legs,
yeah, all of it, all of the above.
Whatever
cuts,
works for
whatever
you.
turns you on, and different colors too.
Dark, light, red.
And also, like, you know, plum and a mahogany and, you know, olive green, interesting looks in denim now.
Yeah, I saw somebody in red jeans the other day, looked swell. The tragedies in the fashion biz, and there have been some. Alexander McQueen.
Yeah.
Know him? Knew him?
Yeah, he was a friend and just a beautiful soul, gentle spirit, poetic, artist of the highest order, truly a sensitive person. And I think the pressures of the business and the loneliness of the business became a little too much for him. You know,
What is
and,
lonely
yeah.
about it?
Oh,
Do you think?
what is lonely? What isn't lonely? But I mean, at the end of the day, you are the one, you know, responsible, especially when you're at the helm of a house of that nature, and you've had the international spotlight on you, and you're only as good as your last collection. And this isn't like, you know, the music business. Okay, you got to come up with an album every couple of years. You have to come up with a collection, you know, sometimes every 3 months or more. You know, and deliveries and getting things right, and then you have to please the critics, and then you have to please the retailers, and then you have to please, you know, the customers, you know, the real acid
Or the
test.
Duchess or the movie star.
Yeah, and then, you know, at the end of the day, you go home alone, and there are a lot of people working under you that, you know, a lot of people that you feel responsible for, but, you know, you've got your own problems to work out, and people could be using you. I mean, one of the last dinners that I had with McQueen, and a great in-depth personal conversation, and he was telling me about someone he was involved with, and he wasn't sure whether this guy was like using him or not, because, you know, of course, why wouldn't someone want to use someone like him as a stepping stone? Very, very sad.
And the spice in the stew?
Yeah, Isabella Blow,
Isabella
the late
Blow.
great fashionista, style adventurous. You know, it's just an amazing spirit. Again, incredibly sensitive spirit. You know, a very eccentric English fashion editor that supported a lot of the young talent that we see. Alexander McQueen, for example, she bought his entire first collection when he graduated from Central St. Martin's Design School. And I used to see her at fashion shows dressed to the nines and looking so wacky in her Philip Tracy hats and just wearing the most outrageous things and just looking like she owned the world. And then I got to know her over the years and realized that she was a very sad, very lonely, very insecure person. You know, the fashion world often attracts outsiders, people that feel like freaks. A lot of designers have said this to me, that growing up they felt like they didn't really belong, so they wanted to express themselves, they wanted to be unique, and they gravitated towards fashion because they thought fashion was a world that might accept them. And then the irony of it, that fashion becomes the most elitist, exclusionary, you know, bitchy
Tough
world imaginable.
Well, and any artist will tell you, and you know this, that when you create a work, it's your soul on canvas, basically. And then you have to walk around the room and listen to people talk about what's come from your innards, really, or your, you know, your creative sense. It can't be easy. Madonna, you spent a couple hours with her. I think you said
Well, I just recently had a dinner with her
hairdresser than you did to Madonna. But who's
Bonnie
counting?
Brooks. Bonnie Brooks hosted a wonderful dinner for her during the Toronto International Film Festival just a few weeks
Bonnie
back.
Brooks being
the CEO of The Bay.
Okay.
Bonnie of The Bay, a very
Bonnie of
dear
the Bay.
friend and a brilliant, dynamic businesswoman. And she threw this wonderful, intimate dinner party for Madonna, and I got invited. You know, of course, The Bay sells Material Girl, which is Madonna's clothing line, so that was a good reason for Madonna to show up. And she was screening her film, W.E., that has just
about
been,
Wallace Simpson?
Yeah, exactly. That has been sort of received in a lukewarm way. I mean, it's a beautiful show to look at. Like, it's very sumptuous in terms of the costumes and the music, and something about the script that I thought was a little half-baked.
Because the story is there.
Oh, the story, yeah. Well, who wouldn't want to hear about
Who
Wallace
wouldn't want
Simpson?
to know?
Yeah, but so I got invited to this dinner with Madonna, and I actually, like an idiot, you'd think I'd know better by now. I should be old enough to know better by now. I flew back in the middle of New York Fashion Week, because I was in New York for Fashion Week during the Toronto Film Festival, but it was like, oh, dinner with Madonna. I have to go no matter what. And like, I got on a plane and like flew back to Toronto for the night like a real jet setter. And, and then I'm there, and Madonna's there and looking quite gorgeous, and making small talk, and I'm sitting at the other end of the table going like, what?
Well,
what did I do
maybe
this for?
a photo op. You have met Michelle Obama.
That was
First Lady of the
wonderful.
United
Lorraine
States
Harper,
of America,
yeah.
I bet. So
Lorraine
the Prime
Harper invited me to lunch.
Lorraine invited you to lunch with Michelle Obama.
Yeah,
Did you talk
during
to her?
the
Did you
G20.
get a
Oh
sense
yes,
of
and
her,
I did, and I was
sense
sitting
of
like
her?
this across a table from her. Lorraine very graciously, placed me in that seat of honor, and
You're
it was
probably
just,
not a conservative. I don't know.
No, but I don't like to talk about politics. Only the politics of fashion. But I did find Michelle to be a total rock star. I mean, wow, what charisma, what
I'm
a
sure.
dynamic woman the minute she walked into the room. I mean, her stature alone, but so warm. And she also sat next to Joanne Rochette, of course, and that was very inspiring too.
the Olympics
It was a wonderful afternoon. That was very, very inspiring to me.
One of the highs. What are the other highs? That moments that you will never forget so far.
You mean in the context of that glamorama world?
I'm here,
or-
glamorama. I know you also go through times when you think, long legs and brains, who cares? Like, this is a fluffy business. It's not that fulfilling. I'm sure you must.
Yeah, of course. But you know, there's the yin and yang of every situation. I really see the fashion world as a microcosm for life, you know, and it's the agony and it's the ecstasy and it's the highs and it's the lows. And I just thank God that I have a place to escape to. I've had this wonderful farm for the past 11 years now, which is really my sanctuary. It's about an hour and 20 minutes outside of Toronto on 123 acres. It's a little stone house that was built in 1842. It looks like someplace in Provence. I have actually named it Chanticleer.
It almost got on fire.
Oh,
That little stone house.
Oh, we're getting back to that
I'm
story
getting back
about
to H. I'm a good
H.
reporter. You asked
Okay.
3 times, who the heck's H? Well, you had a little fling with him, I know.
not
I know
telling
he's from
you.
Nashville. You
Yeah.
do write about it, so
Yeah.
I'm not outing you, and
A
you're not
good
telling.
Christian liar.
Good
from
Christian
Nashville.
liar. Excellent. I can't wait to find out who.
But he did write a song about me called Jeannie Come Home.
Okay, so
And
we
it's
can
quite
Google it.
good.
We
Oh, I
can
don't know.
Google it.
I
A
don't
little
know.
walk on the wild side for us. Why not? So today at the Bay Edit, what floor are you on?
Well, I'm on the second floor at the Bay. Edit's on the second
mean
floor,
Edit's on
but
the
I'm
second
yeah
floor.
I'm going to be at the big party tonight for the
Okay.
room, which should be exciting.
And what are you wearing?
I'm probably going to wear Azzedine Alaya because they carry him at the room, and he's one of the truly great
How
designers
lovely.
of our time.
I thought you might wear an Edit crinkle blouse, but apparently not.
No, I think I'm going upscale tonight.
Lovely to see you.
Great to see you, love.
Thank you. Jeanne Beker, clothing line is Edit, of course, available at the Bay, and her new book, Jeanne Beker, Finding Myself in Fashion.